and it is your week as well.
Alrighty. Let me know when you see it.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Can you share it to me on Discord?
Yes. So I'll pause this while I do that. That takes. Ooh. You're gonna see me for a second, chat. All right, we're back. Almost forgot to share.
Thank you.
No problem. And we could hit play. All right, I'll give you the countdown.
Yep. Just remember it's your week.
$10 seconds. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Answer the Call, the Star Citizen podcast hosted by myself and Croncy, where we open and answer your calls over Discord about any of the topics that we're talking about today. So if you guys want to get subscribed to the YouTube channel, if you guys are watching it on YouTube, well over 50% of you guys are not subscribed yet, so please do that. That will be super helpful. It's a new channel and everything, but thank you to the 5,000 or so that already have. If you guys are watching this on
5,500, like five away from 5,500.
Let's go. So yeah, let's get that. Nobody talk about my mustache today. It's Movember. It's not that big of a deal.
Oh my god, I just noticed.
Yeah. And yeah, if you guys are watching on Twitch, make sure you follow me and Croncy, because we stream Star Citizen and stuff. But we do have a bit to talk about. I guess like the amount of items that happened this week was less than in previous weeks, but it still was a pretty big week. We got IAE, which is the biggest ship sale event of the year. They did a new show called IAE, the IAE show or something like that. And then we had Save Stanton Phase 3, which they're just like hammering through these Save Stanton phases. So I don't know what's going on, but things are happening. How's your week been since we last talked, Croncy? Because we haven't really talked this week.
Very busy. It is now officially like Christmas party season. So I have not had much time to play a lot of Star Citizen this week, but I managed to get in for IAE, managed to try keyword phase 3 of Save Stanton.
Did you get it done?
And honestly, try is probably not even the keyword. I haven't been able to see an Idris yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the big ship sale of the year, right? There's a lot of hype always around IAE. There's a lot of new players that come in during IAE, so there's a lot of just like conversation outside of like the main community that happens with Star Citizen around now. Yeah, it's a busy day, busy week.
Yep. I spent so when Save Stanton Phase 3 happened on was Thursday night, something like that for me. I don't remember what day, but I came back and the next, like I come on the next day. So whenever there's an event at night, I don't play it that night. I play it the next morning.
Yep.
Everyone said at night when it first launched, it was fine. When I got to it, I had the same experience as you. I spent, I think, 2 hours probably hopping servers. Just going in.
Yep.
Hey, you got the Idris on this server? No. All right, next one. Hey, you got the Idris on the server? No. Next one. Chat. Somebody in chat. Hey, I got one on my server. Add them to friends. Go.
Yeah, yep.
Like, that's what it was the whole time. We got 3 out of the way. We went inside the Idris and saw some of the slicer, like, spray paint on there, and that was it. I mean, I don't know how you're feeling, but these missions, when you have them, they aren't not fun. They're actually fun. But it feels like a chore because it's just been such a pain to even get in every phase to get the
Yeah.
missions working.
Yeah.
It's just not cool. Did you ever see the
As
data
I
pads, by the way? Because like I was also gonna say, and I don't see any narrative out of this thing right now.
I was just gonna say, as I said last week, the first two phases were completely fine for me, but as we found out through callers and whatnot, I was incredibly lucky, and so like phase three is the only time that I've actually had to like push my head through a wall to try to get it to work, and I still am yet to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I don't know if you're lucky even because I basically elevators are not working like anywhere on US and EU servers. Went to an
okay,
Australian server, click, door opens. So I was like, you
that's
know,
service.
yeah, just I mean, you're kind of lucky. That's where you were born. Lucky to
I'll
be
take
born
it.
there, I guess.
Yep. Um, but yeah,
Or live there
it
now.
seems at the very least what's been happening is with the Idris mission in particular is like the first one would work on every server and then it would just immediately degrade. It would either not respawn, or I also heard that there was a lot of people who messed it up by like doing the steal the Idris, which like is a thing that you want to do because it's a cool thing
Yep.
to do, but it
Yep.
breaks the mission completely apparently. So um, it's just a bit of a mess. So I I'm a little frustrated in one side of like, they showed us what the rewards were last week, like 2 weeks ago. And they're really, really cool. And now I'm like, I may not be able to get them unless it gets fixed. Given we have like a month, there's only one more phase, as far as we know, after phase three. I
Yeah.
saw. I don't know if it was tested on PTU, but apparently, according to Elliot on Twitter, it is the first resource gathering mission, which will be
Yes.
very
And
exciting.
it was tested on PTU, but it was
Okay.
tested for a very short time. I never saw
Cool.
it, so you clearly didn't either. So we're going in
Yeah.
blind, and I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I
that's a
like
cool
going in
concept for a
blind.
mission. I'm just oh for sure, and I imagine it'll be either salvaging or mining for some capacity, possibly both.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like we've got a month, and like the missions need to be fixed, especially because once again these items are strict upgrades over other items in the game. At the moment, these are the only ways to get these items, and if I can't get them because of bugs, that is the biggest kick in the teeth.
Yeah. Yep. And I I'm surprised that they're going this fast with it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Every fucking week. Um, I yeah, it's just ever since I lost this computer, every setup is this setup's just so different. I never press the right buttons
Yep.
anymore. But the yeah, like I thought this was going to lead into 4.0. It very clearly
Yeah.
is about Pyro. 4.0 is
Yeah.
nowhere near ready.
Yeah. Like
It's a month away because we know
exactly.
it's coming on the 22nd of December.
Yeah.
Reason being, that is the last Friday of
Pretty
the
much,
month
yeah.
before they go on the holiday. And we know
Yeah.
they're going to put this thing out no matter what state it's in for the end of the year. They have in previous years done it PTU open and called that live basically for them and just wipe their hands clean, come back next year and ship it. I think that was 318 is what they did. And look at what happened to 318.
318 was an actual PTU
To
rather than
start the
like a
year?
live release in December.
No, yeah, that's what I
No,
mean.
I'm
A
saying
PTU.
yeah. Yeah, but I also think it was wave one specifically. It was like 6 days before
Oh,
Christmas. It was just wave one. Um,
you sure? I don't know.
I'm fairly sure because that was the first time I had played it, and I've been wave one for ages. So
Makes
and
sense.
maybe they opened it up to open. Someone in chat will be able to tell us. But either
Yeah.
way, it was like it had not been in PTU before that, right?
Yeah. I feel like they have washed their hands, said this thing is out essentially since it's open and anyone can play it and like,
Sure.
went on their vacation because
Yeah.
it's the holidays.
Well,
You deserve it. No one's telling you to work
yeah.
over the holidays here.
We'll talk about the state of 4.0 in a second, but like one of the reasons why it's like we also know that it's going to be about a month is we've been able to see the progress of 4.0 so far. It is not dissimilar to most like month-long PTUs at the moment, but it's still like very up in the air about where we're at, just because it's a very weird PTU. We never have this many people in wave one ever, right? Everyone's just like been getting in to get into their jump points and whatnot,
There's
and we're testing tech
3,000
that is very
Polarises per server.
exactly. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that are choking the servers that
Yeah.
we haven't really experienced before, and we don't know how that's going to play out.
Yep.
Um,
And
but
yeah, we'll talk more about
these,
it though. I'll
yeah,
talk about
to
it
bring
when
it
we
back
get
to the
there.
mission, the like, yeah, I expected this to be a one phase per week. It's now been 2 weeks, 3 phases. With only 1 phase left, I have to imagine they'll wait till after IAE now, though, for the 4th phase. But who knows? Like, it literally could be in like 2 days.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a little weird. It's like clearly you wanted to get this out before 4.0 came out, but you're being very like quick about it, quicker than I would expect.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think the servers are suffering. Like, well, not the servers necessarily, but the missions are suffering.
The missions are definitely suffering from lack of testing time. We've seen all these issues during the PTU. We reported all of them, and yeah, it just stinks. Just stinks. But that was like a little bit of the inside of the slicer with my obviously potato frame rate on the videos when I try to show them, even though that's not the frame rate I had. But that was it. I mean, it was fun. We did it in a Polaris. The Idris was shooting down the torpedoes every time, so you had to like kind of overwhelm the Idris with it to do it. And then, yeah, I don't know if you were able to see it, but like the explosion was us getting hit with our own torpedoes, and yeah, so that was kind of a mess. But yeah, that was that. I don't know. What do you want to move on to, IAE, or do you want to, since we touched on 4.0, talk a little bit about 4.0?
Yeah, let's continue with 4.0. So we had some more patches this week. I believe we were already in. Yeah, we were already in wave 1 as of last weekend, but
so
it
we
was
had
just a couple days.
One patch.
Yeah, there was like 4 days, something like that. Or something. Yeah, something around that where the PTU was completely turned off, and then I think there was 2 patches, but it was like one right after the other. Day wise, I believe, because I wasn't there for the first one and I was for the second, and there was like a couple of updates. Jump points are bugged, very, very bugged, which they knew when they released this patch, to be fair. They said, like, hey, jump points will be messed up. So most of the patch was testing out, like, cows, which are great and are in the game, and I love them.
I got knocked over by one.
Nice.
Yeah, that was cool. I have a cow clips, I think. Let's see.
Hell yeah. There were a couple of sneaky things as well. Like once again, these are the patches that are mostly just going to be updates to bug fixes and stuff.
Look at how far it launched
by
me.
A cow.
Again, ignore frame rate, guys. I wonder if I could lower the quality or something to make it better. But cows are cool. I have another one of me just punching them, I think.
Yep, that's what I was doing. It sent me through the floor, unfortunately, when I tried to punch them, which I think is probably just comic justice.
Yeah. This is just noting that you can't take the eggs off them when they're alive. You have to kill them to get them. When you do get them, unfortunately, like the horns, it doesn't say anything yet. So, yeah, a lot of placeholder text on a lot of things because the narrative team is still working on Squadron 42, but continues to tell us that they're doing other things, like narrative things in the game. But yeah, I mean, they're there. They're cool. I wasn't able to find them. Apparently, this was Burks actually flying over here, and he stole one of my cows and flew it from Stanton to Pyro. It's very rude. But the yeah, they're there.
They don't come up on scans, as far as we can tell. You have to, at the moment, you have to like find them just by eyesight. Which, once again, these are supposed to be using. Oh, sorry, they're not using the same systems as the Copians and the Mareks use, which is also the same systems the Rocks use. It's supposed to be their own thing. So that might be why they don't have signatures, I guess. Or it could be a bug, of course. I haven't seen it listed as a bug yet necessarily, but I would like to be able to scan for them so I don't have to just zoom in on planets all the time. But it was cool. I like seeing more fauna coming into the game. They did a pretty good job with this one. Give us reasons to hunt them.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, just fly real low and you'll find them. There was like another thing that who told me? I think it was PC 101 said to Fly low, you could go in third person and set your like FOV really in, and it
Yeah, that's
makes
what I
the
did.
it makes the LOD
Yep.
better or whatever. So
Yep.
I never knew that until I was looking for the cows. So that should help.
Mhm.
And I did a lot more than that than look for cows.
Yep.
There were some other things that I had up on the screen that I think are worth noting before we get to what I did.
Mhm.
Let's bring that up. The face over IP stuff from SitCon might be in.
Cool.
I don't use face over IP, so I never saw it. I have no idea. Mission refactor stuff, never looked at any of them because
Mhm.
I was focused on contested zone
Yep.
stuff. I checked out the cows as quickly as I could. I flew a Carrick while I was going to the contested zones and the cows. So the Carrick
Yep.
update was there as well. We should probably show that because that is not
Yeah.
something to ignore whatsoever.
Yeah, pretty big deal.
We have the blast doors, which do nothing, but it's cool, right? Maybe
Yep.
it'll help you with the pulse from the star here at some point. Who knows?
The lore of the blast doors is that they should.
Okay.
So hopefully, if that's still the case. And then of course, as you can see there, yeah. So you can now access the bottom cargo, similar to sort of how you access the caterpillar cargo. Now, people in my chat were telling me it is still apparently in the plans. I don't know where they heard it. Seem to bring it out of the ether. That it is apparently still in the plans to make these drop to the ground. Which would be great. Cool. But at the moment they don't.
Yeah, I mean these are they are bringing the Carrick into somewhat the modern time of a functional cargo ship, but like the Caterpillar, it has its flaws and it's not very good for it because of those reasons. So you would have hoped that if you were going to take the time to do this, that you would do it right. This is the kind of things that we're talking about. Like if you're going to talk about 1.0, when you do work on things, you should probably bring them up to as much of a 1.0 standard as you can. But I'm not going to complain too much here.
Yeah.
I now have access to a cargo ship with 500 cargo. Why would I complain? So yeah.
Yep. It was a nice little surprise too. I don't think anyone was expecting it. They showed like a little bit of it of the blast shields being like essentially prototyped at CitizenCon, but I don't think don't think we expected this at all. So
yeah.
Very cool.
Yep. And then I was doing the contested zone stuff. So without any spoilers of seeing how to get to these things, where they are, or anything like that, I focused first on getting a couple keys. So I was obviously it was very server error E. So my job was to get keys 5 and 6. So this is getting key 5. The keys are really big. These big old data pad type things. And then I got key 6 as well. So if you come across any of these are the keys for the contested zones. But it's quite a ways into the game to find them. So I'm not giving too much away here.
The contested zones have been so buggy in like pretty much every PTU patch so far that I haven't even seen this. Yeah, this is completely new for me.
And these are the 2 easiest ones to find. Like very little effort to get to these. And I imagine most people have not found them. And then this is huge spoiler alert right now. So I don't know how to tell you when we end the spoiler alert. Maybe I'll like put up the spoiler alert. Well, we'll just say something, I guess. Spoiler alert over. But it's about to start in 3, 2, and 1. We put all the keys in. I'm not even going to show you that. And then this door opens. We died here the last time, and we didn't this time. It's just a hallway, but the hallway leads to an elevator. Which, I'm going to pause this here and say, I swear to God, if they don't put the transit refactor in this patch, and I do all the work to get those keys, and that elevator doesn't work, I'm going to be so pissed off. I'm going to be so pissed off.
Yeah.
Another reason why the transit refactor has to be in this game, because the elevators don't work on live, and that's super annoying. Okay? So you take this elevator, and I'll skip ahead. It basically says like hangar A and B. It's just 2 elevators that go into one hangar, but 2 sides of it. It's one hangar, right? And then as soon as we get there, I don't know if you can see it top. You start seeing the yellow spray or the green spray paint. follow the green spray paint. That's the whole contested zone gameplay loop. Find the green spray paint and follow it. Now, unfortunately, I didn't do much exploring here. We were all rushing to the end, and everyone that was doing this
if
stuff.
I'm not mistaken, just very quickly, I believe this hangar is a reused asset from the from the Pyro playtest.
Yep.
Based on what I'm seeing here,
yep.
Where it was like the mission where you would do like combat inside a hangar.
There's a couple of these involved in the contested zone stuff. So yes, but no. It's using a lot of the same assets, but this is something different. Because that hangar is at a spawn location station. This is not.
Okay.
So this is a totally different thing. Now, there's an ASOP terminal here on the left.
Mm-hmm.
The reward is a ship. What I am absolutely obsessed with is the reward right now is an Avenger Titan. That's it. Nothing.
Interesting.
So it is and it has been confirmed to be a placeholder.
Yeah, I was going to say, surely that's
ship.
A placeholder, right?
Yep. Yeah. So they are not showing you the reward, hopefully, until live. So look at everyone rushing to the ASOP, and they just they grabbed it right away, and it was like, holy crap, man. There's 3 streamers here. Let the streamers see it. So I could like barely see the Avenger Titan on the pad.
Yeah.
And yeah, like somebody in the group grabbed it, but you could see them all like hounding over it. And then funny story. That's Burks. Right there.
Yep.
We think he caused that. We never saw the ship come out. And then I'm going to go forward.
Yep.
Because the server error ends. And then the game thinks that we're in a kill zone.
Lovely.
So, wait.
But actually just a dedicated tester, guys. Just making sure the contested war zones work for when it comes to live.
Oh, it just server errored again? Wait. We die. I don't know what.
Okay.
Yeah, it maybe isn't part of this video, but we die at the end. It just kills us. So, but yeah, we never got to see the Titan. But the reward acts like if you bought the Titan in the game for in-game credits. So it's not a rental. It's not a golden ticket. It's none of that. It is.
So it permanently goes into your hangar, basically. Like
not
your RSI hangar, like your in-game hangar. No?
Correct. So your in-game hangar, yes. So as if you bought it for in-game credits. So it is not going on your RSI hangar. You're not going to have this after a wipe.
Yeah.
It's a gameplay thing only. That's it. We don't know what ship it's going to be. We don't know what components are going to be in there. It could be a normal ship with really good components. It could be anything. Another thing we didn't get to do because we crashed is we didn't get to explore and see what other rewards might have been around there and so on. So that is that. Spoilers over.
Is that just before spoilers over?
Okay.
Is that a large-sized hangar? It appears to be
medium.
It doesn't. It's a medium. Okay.
Medium. Okay. So
interesting.
I think it's safe to assume that the ship is going to be a fighter, PvP fighter.
Most fighters
are small, but
yeah.
It gives room for all the crap. Plus, you can spawn the fighter. So somewhere in large, medium, something like fighter type thing. So we'll see what it is. But no idea. At the moment, I love that we have no idea, and we'll keep it at that.
Yeah, it's great. Keeping some secrets until live. Hell yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and
it will get spoiled immediately day one on live, but that's still cool.
Yeah. It's way better because the thing is that the people who are going to spoiler it day one on live aren't necessarily content creators that had access to Evo the entire time and got to know every location of the keys and blah, 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 right? So it's probably going to get spoiled by just a random person on Reddit, which is awesome. And that's how it should be, right? So, it's cool.
Very cool.
Spoilers over, though, and I look forward to more and more and more and more and more of it. And I had some PvP there, though, and I killed a few people, and it was fun, but
Yeah,
see
the
what
only
happens.
experiences I was able to get into contested war zones this week, there was PvP. I did not have your experiencing that you were mentioning with like elevator campers.
I was the
But
camper.
that may have just been because there was less people on the server. So
Yeah. Yeah. I was the camper. We had people coming in this elevator
yep.
over and over again. And big problem with that. Killed them and they get sent they just disappear. You can't loot them, nothing. And it's like, bro,
Okay.
people grabbing keys in contested zones and I can't loot them? That's got to be
Yeah,
fixed
it's
before
problem.
live,
Yep.
or don't even put these in. Like,
Yep.
then there's no point in doing any of this. I do want to bring up one more thing. Lots of optimizations went into this one. Yes,
Yep.
it was super unstable, but my frame rates were not horrible this time. So these optimization improvements definitely had an effect and worked, I would say.
Yep. In addition, they also added the new dynamic clouds to Pyro 3 as well. So sweet, cool. Because the clouds there look way better anyway. Pyro 4 is kind of cringe.
Yep.
So cool to see that. I had an unconfirmed report, aka I saw one person with one video show lightning in Pyro 3.
I was just about to say the same thing. I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, but I have heard no one else talk about it, so probably not. Probably just like some random light bug.
Maybe, but
no,
one can hope.
Possibly. I mean, we weren't expecting the dynamic clouds at all to be there, so.
Yeah. All right. So that's 4.0. IAE.
Yep, it's the big stuff. It's what we're all going to be talking about for the next week and a half. The big ship sale is here, the biggest one of the year, as well as the biggest like new player recruitment drive for CIG. And maybe we'll start right there because they did introduce some mechanic that I am a big fan of, which is the IAE Academy.
Yeah, let me bring that up.
It is just CIG just directing people to a really good place to start the game, which is awesome. It's like cool. Do the tutorial. Like if you do the tutorial right now in the game, it doesn't tell you, hey, go do things. It's literally just, this is how a ship works. This is how a contract works, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't actually tell you to go do stuff. And this does, which is awesome. I would still prefer it to be in the game. But yeah, a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you get to choose 3 of these 5 tasks.
Mm-hmm.
And you get the in-game shirt, which is whatever, but this isn't whatever anymore. Is the Orc Mark 10 Singularity armor set, stone skin undersuit, P4 AR, and a Gemini L86 pistol. And the reason these aren't nothing is if something is tied to your hanger on the website, they said you're going to get a blueprint for it. So what? I mean, if I want to craft, like, what if this is meta armor one day? Like, if I want to have these blueprints, I want to craft these things, I'm going for this stuff. So I don't need to do the tutorial. I don't need to visit IAE. I don't need to combat or haul. I don't need to learn any of this stuff. But I need those blueprints. So I'm doing this. All right. So, yeah, and again, we will talk about it in a little bit. There is a wipe coming, but this kind of stuff is not affected by your wipe, by the wipe at all, because it's going on your account. Oh, look, this is telling me that I did the things, I think.
Yeah, apparently it's been super buggy, but of the last like 12 hours maybe, most of them have been updating for people that have done the tasks.
Hell yeah. I mean, I've gone to IAE. It hasn't said that yet, but I'll have to, I mean, we're going to go there today at the end of the podcast anyway. So, yeah. Somebody in Twitch is asking for a link, so I'll grab that for you. If you want to, you could throw it in YouTube as well. There it was. There it is. And yeah, this was interesting. Obviously, the YouTube stuff happened, which was somewhat interesting.
So yeah, so they forewent a couple of things this IAE that they would normally do. Instead of having still an ISC and an SCL, usually the ISC just being here are the new ships and like what they are. and an SEL being whatever. As well as, you know, like Jax McCleary videos, they've made like multiple, because there's actually one coming out right after this podcast ends.
Yep.
They've made multiple of these like 18-minute videos that are a mix of like the fun, like Jax McCleary sketch type things, actual dev interviews, which in this episode they talked about kill time or time to stun, or was it
Time
time
to
to disable?
Yeah.
Um, uh, and yeah, it's just kind of it's a weird mix of like actual fun stuff and actual dev diary stuff. I kind of like it. I'm excited to see what the next few look like. I am a little disappointed that they didn't go hard on Jax McCleary again this year, but he is in this video. And yet, that is fair. We may get a proper Jax McCleary, but he is in this because there's
right
one
there.
section here. He is there, and then he's also one of the miniatures in the like GI Joe thing. He's one of the captains.
Where's the GI Joe?
So,
there it is.
Yeah, there it is. Legionnaires. So that was kind of cool. I liked it. What did you think?
Yeah, it was how I described it. Because I actually recorded Weekend Review already. I described it on that for as a mix of both SCL and ISC, because they kind of did this sit down interview at Jared style that they would do on SCL, but it had the ISC polish to it. And yeah, I mean, they talk, like you said, they talked about time to disable and insurance and things like that. Things that stuck out from this. I don't know if you have any in particular, but the one that stuck out to me is they want to make an insurance algorithm, and it sounds like a big undertaking. But the idea here would be, even if you had just a starter ship, if you died over and over and over and over and over and over again, that the algorithm would kick in and be like, yeah, you can't just get your ship back that quickly.
Yeah, stop committing insurance fraud.
Yeah. And then that gives them the ability to like really hammer home loss of your big ships, as well as go get them if you lose them. And unlike me before the podcast started, make sure you get them and don't let somebody steal them. And yeah, that's the idea here. They've already talked about most of this stuff. I don't think we learned too many new things in particular from this section. It was just, I think that we know in 4.0, there was obviously supposed to be engineering. There's not, right? So we know that soon after 4.0, this kind of time to disable thing will be enacted. And I think they're just trying to get ahead of things and really explain it to us as much as possible, so we're not surprised by it, because it is going to be a major, major change. Whether or not it's going to be fun, we don't know.
Yeah.
Right? People might hate this, and I don't think there's any going back from it. It's too much work to change, and they put too much work into it already. That's the kind of weird thing about this is they are basically developing things to completion and then finding out if they're fun after, which is why this is taking over a decade. They've been doing this kind of stuff forever, and I just always want to point out that very obvious mistake that they continuously make, but hopefully it's fun. I think it will be. I like the idea of not losing my ship and having to go get it back.
Yeah.
But
100%. Actually getting urgency for those sorts of parts of the gameplay, right?
Yeah.
Some of the other big stuff that was in this video, which once again, there's going to be another one in literally an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But in this video, they did also show like a little, like one frame clip of the Paladin.
Oh, yeah.
So we can see a very, very small sneak of that. I don't even know where it is in the video.
It's like here, but
from what I've seen, I love the bug makers thing. I had to ask chat what the reference was, and then the second I went and looked at it, I was like, okay, this is kind of sick. But yeah, so the Paladin, obviously we'll see it in a couple days' time. But it is wide, and it is, at least in my opinion, very Valkyrie-esque looking from the front, which is great because I love the Valkyrie. I think it looks sick. So
what even is the Paladin supposed to be? Do we know?
Gunship. Yeah, we've got the description from when
from
IAE was in
right?
PTU.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was basically, it's a gunship.
Okay.
So expect anything between Redeemer and Hammerhead, basically.
Love it.
Yep. So yeah,
love
we'll
guns,
obviously see
hate
more on
missiles, so I'm in. I love the Redeemer.
It's now a missile gunship, rip Mike.
Yeah. I hope not. Please no. Please no. But yeah, and then I think for me, this last section, as goofy as these are, uh,
This was cool. Yeah.
lots of really useful information. I mean, it didn't start out with any like, "Who are you? What do you do?" You know,
Yeah.
and they asked some easy ones. But
Yeah.
then he said that MISC ships are going to be the next manufacturer that they go deep
Misk and
into.
Drake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he said large MISC ships, which
Mhm.
was very interesting simply because there are no large MISC ships in the silhouette video that they showed at
Yeah.
CitizenCon. There,
Yeah.
there's the prospector looking one, and if you go back and look at it, you could go, oh, well, maybe that's a really large looking prospector. It's
I will
not.
say, I will
I
say,
already did.
it's possible they think the Starlancer qualifies for this.
No chance. But
Because
maybe the
they are working on the tack and the build, right? So
that would be such a
you
cop
know
out.
it would. But they mentioned Drake, and we did see the ironclad in the silhouettes. So that also makes a lot of sense
Yep.
for yeah
Yep.
the answer.
Ironclad and the
Oh yeah, the
what?
weird whatever it is, the weird Corsair thingy
Yep.
that we don't know about. I did love the answer to the favorite internal name for a ship that never came out.
It was
Which
Pokemon related.
yeah, he said he didn't say the name, but he just said all I'm gonna say is gotta catch 'em all, which means we either lost a really cool like prison bounty hunter ship, which I think it would have been cool, or what would have been way cooler, a zoo ship where we could just capture cows and stuff.
Oh shit! I thought maybe it was like a circular ship that looked like a Pokeball or something.
Oh, I didn't even think about just
Yeah,
like it being shape. Yeah.
yeah,
That
or
would have been
just
cool, just flying a sphere around.
yeah, or an electric ship. Like I don't know. It could that you could go all sorts of ways.
Yeah, yeah.
The other thing is, they asked if the Connie would get, the treatment that other ships have gotten, and they
Mhm.
basically just implied that it's going to get a gold pass or whatever, and never said
Yeah,
when.
yeah.
But it won't be a Mark II is basically what, or
Mhm.
Mark V in this case is what he
Yeah.
said. But outside that, that was really it. There's quite a few little sneak peeks if you go frame by frame if you guys want to do that, and I liked it. I liked
Mhm.
it, and there's
Yeah,
another one today, so we'll see how this goes.
yep.
And I mean, the conversation around the time to disable, I thought was a little all over the place and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But overall, it was good. It was a good. We're gonna get our weekly fill of
Yeah,
ISC SCL content. Oh yeah, the other thing is they teased this stuff before we got to see it in 4.0. So there's
yeah,
your
which I think was the literal same day that they released the patch, so,
yeah, maybe like five
yeah,
hours apart or something like that.
yeah.
Nothing crazy. So it was very much a surprise to see it in the patch after them talking like, oh, it's in 4.0. And it's like, all right, well,
Yeah, yeah,
when? Oh,
yeah.
today. So yeah, that was
I do wonder with them, like, are they just gonna release these every 2 days of IE? Because it certainly feels like that might be the case. Obviously, we haven't got a This Week in Star Citizen for this next coming week, but I wonder how many of these we're gonna get. Surely it's more than two.
well, what ships are they releasing? It's clear that they're going to be talking about this paladin that I didn't know about until today,
Mhm.
basically, and then
I'm
excuse
sure
me,
the Polaris,
the
so there are
Guardian.
six flyables in IAE.
Yep.
There is one concept that we know of, which is the Paladin, and
So
then
paladin is
there is the.
concept only.
It seems to be, yeah, because it was
Okay.
once again at PT in the PTU at IAE. It was at the showroom, like
Oh, it was a hologram.
the hologram. Yeah,
Understood. Oh,
yeah.
okay, 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 okay.
And then the Guardian shouldn't be coming out in any form in IAE, just the way that they talked about stuff at CitizenCon. So when they did I think it was just before they did the silhouettes, they said they mentioned the Guardian, they mentioned the what was it? Maybe the Polaris, might be the Polaris, but they were like, we wanted to make sure all these ships come out by year end. Well, here's what's coming out of IAE. They did not show the Guardian during that.
Yeah. But
They
then
only showed the Metapin, the Hornets, and the Starlifter.
the sneak
But
peek.
then, yeah, this was this week's sneak peek. I still think the Guardian will probably just miss out IAE and will be our 4.0 release. Maybe even after what I've learnt from you today, Mike, that could be the ship that you win in Pyro, which would be really, really cool, right?
It looks
That'd
like
be a
it would
great
be
way
a
to
medium
introduce it.
hanger.
Yep.
It's big.
So I think my opinion is that this will miss out IAE, and that'll be a 4.0 release ship, because also what else would be? Like, it would only be surprise ships other than that.
Yep.
But yeah, to go back, so yeah, I imagine we'll get a video that's got the Polaris in it. We'll get a video that has the meta pin in it. We're supposed to be getting a video today. Don't know what that would be. So
what day of the event is it? Do we know what
Miskin
moving to?
Mirai. So maybe it is the
Guardian.
world. Maybe they show the Guardian.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
they could show the Guardian and then say, but it's the IAE show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Or they might just
Yep.
straight Starlancer us again, which, I mean, I like it, but
I don't know.
don't know.
Everyone who's watching at home, not in live right now, is already telling us you guys are idiots. They showed it hours ago after watching the pod, but yeah, we'll find out pretty soon.
what?
The video comes out in an hour and 15. So if people are watching this after it's already been posted to YouTube.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we basically timed the podcast today to end right when everything goes live, so we can watch them and all that stuff and handle all that. Are you gonna? By the way, are you gonna keep streaming after this?
I am. I'm gonna
Perfect.
mostly to check out the IAE show.
Yep.
And then play some Stalker 2. So
nice. So I'll send everybody over to you when I'm done, because we're basically both gonna stay live after this. This is gonna be a very different podcast than we normally done before. So if you guys are watching live on Twitch and YouTube, you're gonna want to go to our Twitch channels after this, because the YouTube will go offline. But we'll stay on today. It's a very unique podcast day from previous ones.
It's just the way it is.
I mean, honestly, it's just the way CIG has been. Just things coming out on the weekends, which is things they have not done in the past. So very, very exciting from that standpoint. Anything else? The Intrepid.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest one. This like thing. So we obviously talked a lot about it last week because we got to experience it in PTU.
How much is it
now
Australian?
We know. I think it's like 66 or something.
No. It's 65 US. I think.
But doesn't it have it has a discount though, I think.
Yeah, it's 68 US with the game package. It's $80 US without the discount, which is wild for that thing.
Yeah, it is far too expensive.
Yeah.
All of my like I mentioned last week, I like the Intrepid. I think it's a really cool ship. I like that it's unique, blah blah blah, but a lot of my would I ever recommend this to new players?
No.
Came with that's the thing. It came with the caveat of it needs to be cheap. And it's not. It's too expensive for what it is.
Yeah.
You should not value, as a new player, if you are a new player out there, you should not value internal it being kind of chill in there that much, in my opinion.
At all. Probably.
No, there is some value there because aesthetics is a big deal, and if you like the aesthetics of the inside, sure. But yeah, not much. You should value its actual gameplay capabilities more.
Yeah. And unless you really like FPS combat only, I don't know why I would use this. And even if I liked FPS only, I'm pretty sure the Cutter Rambler is cheaper than this and has a better quantum fuel tank, so you're able to travel a bit more and not have to deal with stuff. So I cannot think of a ship that I would recommend this over of any of them at this price.
Yeah. Yeah, I've said to everyone, the only reason I would ever recommend this to anyone is just if they like the look of it, because then you will enjoy the game more. But even then, it's it's still not great. I don't feel great saying that. No. I still want to say but really, if you really just like the look of it, buy it in game. Try for something else.
Yeah. Yep. It's weird. I gotta say, I love the paint on the right though. I like that color. Other than that,
yes, the green paint is very cool. They've been pretty top notch with their paints for the most part.
Yeah.
Recently. Which, speaking of, do you like the purple Invictus paints that got shown?
No.
Really? I love them.
Hate
I'm a
them.
big fan of a purple paint.
Hate them. I'm not a purple. I just never liked purple.
Okay.
Yeah, here's the paints.
I just realized if it wasn't obvious.
Yeah,
Purple
I'm a
lights
blue
behind my
guy.
head.
I'm a blue guy. So I like Invictus. Invictus is that
Yeah.
blue and gold. So
Yeah.
Invictus paints are way more up my alley. I'm not a big purple guy, never have been. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, no. I mean, we get these no matter what, right? If we have them. So I do have a C1, I
Yeah.
do have an F8, I don't have the Terrapin, and I have a Reclaimer. So
Mhm.
I'll get these paints, but I'm not really interested in these whatsoever. But
Sure.
I understand that it's not everyone's cup of tea, and mine aren't everyone's cup of tea, and it might be yours. So yeah, rock and roll for the people who like it. I already have my paints that I like for some of these ships.
See, that's the thing. I like the paints. I don't really care for many of these ships. So
That's true. It's pretty much just the Reclaimer that I like, and the
yeah, yeah.
Reclaimer even just God needs an entire internal rework. So like I don't even I'm trying not to fall in love with it yet because I know it needs to change so much.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's everything that comes to my mind.
Pretty much, yeah. Obviously, like IAE is all about ship sales and new player acquisition. The one thing I will say, live server stability, from my experience the last couple of days, has been pretty good.
Yeah,
The
no server
missions are
errors.
buggy, but yeah, no server errors. Most of my elevators have been working, so rip you, Mike.
Uh,
Um,
did you try today?
no, not today.
Yeah, but I did go on an
Yeah.
Aussie server and it worked. So even if you did
Okay.
try, it might have worked.
Classic.
Yeah.
But yeah, if all things considered, it's like not the worst IE experience we've had in recent memory. Not the best either. I think I don't know if it was last year or the year before. IE was like just amazing. So yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully their new player numbers go well because that feeds the money ticker
machine.
without us having to buy big ships. As well as it's like getting a bunch of new people into the game just before 4.0 arrives is like a big deal too. So yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm ready for callers if you are.
Yeah, we'll do it. If you want to call in to answer the call, you can go to the Discord link, either pinned on YouTube or if you're over on Twitch, Estimation Mark Podcast, and go to the link. Hang out in the green room. We've still got a couple of spots available at the moment for you guys to come in, talk about 4.0, talk about the IAE, talk about the missions. Yeah.
All right, let's bring in our first caller then, Skippy5611. Hello, Skippy.
Hey guys.
Skippy, how you doing? Yep.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I've been listening to the podcast for a while, so I'm super thrilled to be on here.
Oh, thanks for coming on. What do you want to talk about?
So I was curious to know what your guys' thoughts on are like, what are the implications of if they actually miss the funding target this year? So if funding is actually down from last year, because I think AstroPub was talking about it yesterday on their podcast, and they posed a couple different scenarios. So I'm just curious what your guys' thoughts on that are.
So there's a couple of things I want to mention. One is we've had less ship sales this year than previous years, which is
That's
one of
not
the reasons
true.
why the target might be. No, it is.
No,
Less
it's
new
not.
ships. Yeah.
Maybe less new ships.
Those are the primary ship sales, are the new ships. We have had less new ships this year than we have had in like the last 4 years.
Okay, but we've had like 15 more ship sales than ever before. Like events, this sale, that sale, than ever before. This is like
I don't believe that's true.
I know for
because
a fact that's true.
We've had significantly less dynamic events this year.
We've counted.
And
it's
dynamic
true.
events have always.
It's just true. Trust me. Just please trust me on this one. It's true. We took a whole day and counted all of them. And we've talked about it on this podcast before. By September, they had more sales than they did all of last year.
All right. I'm willing to concede.
Trust me on that one.
Regardless,
this one I know with 100% certainty.
Less new ships, which is a big deal because those are the ones that bring in the major money, which is likely one of the reasons that the targets are down. There was a similar case last year where they once again had not released as many concept ships as they had in previous years. But then IAE took off like hell. This year has the Polaris. That'll probably get there by itself, honestly. I wouldn't even be remotely surprised if we absolutely crush the targets. But that wasn't really your question. Anyway, Skippy, I just wanted to mention those for
The
more
target's
context for the
$30
for the things.
million.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to have a mustache at the end of the year
Why?
because we're going to make a bet.
Oh God.
I'm just
I can't
kidding.
grow a mustache, Mike. I can't. I have no hair here. Anyway, sorry, to get back to Skippy's question. If they don't make this year's target, which is still obviously very possible, and until we see the other sales come out, is essentially likely. The big question I have is the 2023 financial report that'll be coming out at the end of the year, start of next year. And the reason for that is they finished building the offices in like the start of 2023. So how much money have they been spending?
Yeah, lit on fire for that stuff.
Without that.
Yeah.
I think it'll probably be fine. I don't know. I don't think much will change in terms of like CIG's plans for funding until after 4.0 comes out. I think that's a much more important like signifier on whether or not they're doing well. If 4.0 comes out and it's a terrible failure and no one's playing the game, so therefore no one's spending the money on the game, that'll be like a bigger signifier than IAE, I think.
I just look at it this way. I just play the game, and if the game fails, the game fails. My money, when I gave it to him, it lit on fire at that moment, and whatever happens, happens. So I don't.
Yeah, I've got my money's worth.
I don't even care about my money's worth. None of that stuff. It's just the I have no control over what happens, so I am not going to spend my mental energy on well, what will happen if they don't hit their ship sale goals? Like, I don't give a shit if they don't hit their ship sale goals. That's their problem. And I've been preaching what they need to do to not have those problems for 6-7 years. So it's on you. If the game fails, there's no one to blame but the people at that studio, and that's it. And what else? What else do you want me to say? There's nothing else. So I don't know what Astro said or what you think. So, please, since we've taken up your entire call, what you think's going on. But I don't give a shit. It just, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, their perspectives, I think, were, and I don't want to quote them because I don't remember exactly what they said. But it was just like, if they miss it by a lot, things might get a little weird. Like they might do some layoffs or something. But if they miss it by a little bit, it probably likely nothing will change. I guess I'm just the most interested to see what like the end of the year and the beginning of calendar year 25 communications will look like if funding is down from last year. Like, because last year at the end of the year, Jared did that big glazing video where they basically like set these big expectations for 24, and then we kind of know that a lot of those have been missed. So I'm just curious to see like if funding will impact how they approach something like that for 25, or if they're going to do that again, which seems likely. But
hopefully they learn their lesson from last year. Stop overselling and underdelivering. It's now, I don't know how you can look at what's happening to them financially without understanding that that's the reason why things aren't working out. Your ship sales are less interesting because you have way too many ships, so you're unable to differentiate and do cool things anymore. And the game has to be the thing that's cool. And you have not made the game the thing that's cool. You have put the ship sales ahead of everything over and over and over again for the entire year. And look at you. You made less money. You deserve what you're getting, and that's it. And now hopefully learn that from that mistake and do better for next year. That's all you can. That's all you can hope is that they open their eyes and they can see that stuff, and that the game is going to be the thing that sells itself. They have hundreds of spaceships that people can buy, and if the game is good, people will buy those like they will not just have a starter ship. They will want to get a prospector. They will want to get a vulture. They will want to get a reclaimer and all those things if the game is fun. You do not have to keep making big ships. You do not have to keep making more ships necessarily. You have to make the game fun and stop putting out patches to sell spaceships that are preventing you from making the game fun. Oh my God. I mean, Croncy, you said that if 4.0 isn't good, and we talked about it at the beginning of the podcast, they're going to put this thing out at the end of the year no matter what. It's not going to be good. Or it's not going to be as good as it could be on launch. And it is such an important one that that's the one that I'm like, please get this right. And I don't think they will.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier, new player acquisition about something else, but like new player acquisition is so important for continued growth, right?
Yep.
And that has slowed down a little bit in the last 2 years. There's been some like
this year
significant
really bad.
less growth. A lot of that, I imagine, it's just assuming, but like I'm imagining that that's coming from the fact that live servers have been in really bad states during the times where they do most of their new player acquisition.
Yeah.
Once again, it is IAE right now. The servers are okay. A lot of it's going to come down to how they
get out of a city. I couldn't get out of a city on 4.0. I couldn't get out of a city on live. Yep. I'm not going to say they're okay. They were. I think they have gone from okay to not okay anymore, sadly.
I clearly just need to stop playing on Australian servers.
Yeah.
Or you guys just need to all play on Australian servers.
We do, because our servers are dead.
Yeah. I've been weirdly lucky with Save Stanton. Like, I haven't...
Yep.
Well, so when I was trying to do the missions to completion, I got all of phase 1 and phase 2 done. Like, no issues at all. The only bug I ran into was a couple invincible freelancers, but they didn't stop me from completing the missions. And then phase 3, me and a buddy hopped on the first night and got all 3 Idrises done, like, at the same time. Yeah. But then we hopped on again on Friday night, and none of them worked. So exactly. I guess we just got lucky.
Well, no, you didn't get lucky. You got there early before things started to fall apart, right? That's the way to go. If you are able to get on when these things go live, do them. That would be my best advice, because that's the only time you're going to see them work, most likely, or consistently. But yeah.
And then last thing I'll say, and then I'll pop out of here, is just I had a really good experience with 4.0 Wave 1, I think Friday night when the servers were still relatively fresh, where I got onto a server and everything was like working. There was no interaction delay. Everything was instant. NPCs were walking around and I was like, whoa, is 4.0 working? And then I looked at the shard server pop and it was, I think, 60 something 22.
Yep.
So
yeah, that was pretty much my entire Evo experience, was like that many people on a server. So
yeah. And then what we were doing is we kept dealing with the server errors, right? So we were finding people that had Wave 1 servers with like 16 people on them. And we're like, yo, let us in. And then we would go in, and then we were like, guys, we need to hurry up. There's 70 players. And then we look two minutes later, there's 110 players. No. And then all of a sudden the server errors would start coming again. And we're like, we got to switch again. But yeah.
It's funny, like standing in front of a door on a ship and watching the population count go up, and then the amount of seconds it takes for that door to open go up, like in direct correlation.
Yep. But it's very easy to see, but it's still. I was watching Space Cutlet yesterday, and he was going around. He was just in Stanton, and he was going around and looking at all the outpost locations in Stanton. Like, he had already looked at all the cities and all the pyro stuff. And just looking for the trade like the best hauling spots, because obviously he's a pirate, so he's looking for the good ones to pirate. But there are so many new commodities. Like, as he was going, I had done this a lot in pyro, and he was finding commodities I had never seen before. And it's like really low SCU amounts at the outposts as well, like 30 for some of them. So like some of these things are going to be really hard to get, and when you get them, it's going to be exciting. So it's like, I don't know if you guys are getting this feeling, but I'm starting to get the feeling of maybe it's happening a little bit of like, when I log into the game, I can salvage, I can mine, I could play with my friends and do those things. I could play with my friends and do Save Stanton. I can go to 4.0. I could do the contested zone. I can go to 4.0 and mine and bring it over to Stanton. I can cargo haul both ways. Like, I'm starting to see that there might be reasons to play. Then we have a wipe in 4.0, so there actually are reasons to play to make money. And it's getting kind of exciting, and we'll see how long that lasts. Obviously, there'll probably be exploits and blah blah blah, but yeah.
I do
But yeah,
wonder how long
Skippy.
it's going to take. I just wonder how long it's going to take for us to see like Wave 1 PTU get into the state that like Evo was like in the last couple of days before Wave 1, where other than a bunch of missions being broken and stuff, like things were stable. You could jump every day without issue, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a pretty clear, like, I crash when I go to the jump point, so that seems like it's
Mhm.
one thing. Hopefully the consistent server error loop is one thing, and then they just have to
Mhm.
fix a couple of things, and the experience might be like somewhat decent. My frame rates were better. The AI were kind of snappy towards me. The FPS
Yep.
wasn't that desyncy or messy. So
Mhm.
there's a chance. There's a chance it's good. But yeah, Skippy, I think we'll let you go because you said that was the last thing. And yeah, thanks for calling in, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
cheers.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, man. All right.
Anytime.
Catch you
Catch
soon.
you, mate.
But yeah, I'm excited. So you're gonna
Yeah.
say this person's name, the next person, because I have no idea how to pronounce that. And I don't know.
Aninander.
Aninander. Okay.
Or it's Anine and
How do you pronounce your name?
Hey guys, my name is
Howdy.
Anna.
Aninander.
Hey,
Yeah,
you're right, the first one.
if you put multiple words together, that's what
Oh,
it means.
Croncy, you're
Yeah,
back. Sorry.
it's a German name, so yeah. I
Gotcha.
hope you guys are doing well. It's my first time
Yeah.
calling in, and the first thing I have to say, Mike, I love your mustache. It's really good. It's really good.
My wife hates it.
Yeah, I get it. I get the same expression from my wife, so
Yeah.
don't worry.
Yep. I
It
told
will
her
go
it's
on
just
them.
for the month and then it's over.
Yeah. Okay. I have a few short questions and one longer question, which I'm really interested in hearing from you guys.
Sure.
Love
The
it.
first one, after the debacle from the base building module of the Galaxy, do you
Mhm.
think they will say the base building module this year?
I
we
think
think
they
they'll
might.
sell it?
I think they might
Ooh.
sell it today.
Oh, okay.
Might.
Well, it would be on
I'm not
RSI day. It would be RSI day.
No, the build is.
The Galaxy base building module. I guess
Yeah,
that's what we're talking
Galaxy
about.
base building module.
Excuse
Yeah.
me. I thought you were thinking about the build. My bad.
No, the Galaxy base building module.
Gotcha. Because for me, the build is the more important thing to find out the price of for now. Because we know the
Which
base
also-
price
yeah.
of the Galaxy. Again, we don't like. I know why you're asking this because we
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know the base price of the module
Mhm.
for that. So it comes down to like if the build is $5 more than the Galaxy Plus base building module, then we know what they were doing, and it's malicious and it's messed up. But they know that we know, so they're probably going to mess with the prices a little bit. So yeah.
That does, just very quickly, I did completely forget about the build and the TAC when we were talking about Star
ships.
System funding as well. So there's actually like there's so many ships at IAE this year. It feels like
Yeah.
they've saved all of the new ones for IAE.
Yeah. I still don't think
anyway,
they're going to make 30 mil,
yeah.
but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm really hyped to find out because it was really funny seeing everything burn down while they fucked this up, and yeah, I'm really hyped for it. Now with .3 out of the PTU, do you think they will excel with development at 4.0, or it will
Sorry, just quickly,
go on?
we didn't actually answer your question. No, I don't think they will
No.
sell the RSI module.
No.
Yeah.
I think we'll just see the build.
Yeah, I think so too, because they already said something like they don't focus on the base building module and so on. So I don't think it will come out, but I think it's really important about the Starlancer build. So we will see what this one is priced at. Yeah. And about 4.0, because I'm getting the feeling only Wave 1 right now. That's also part of a bigger question I have. I think it's also going a little bit slow at the moment, because when you want to get something like server meshing out of the way, it should be their focus to get as many people hands-on with it. After like I can get behind why they did Evo first, like test it in a small scale if it's even working and so on, and then they want to scale it drastically. So why don't they just put it onto Open PTU? That's
because
my
then
question.
nothing would work and they wouldn't get any information. So Evo was very long. And we were even talking for like the last maybe 2 weeks that like Wave 1 possibly. Then Wave 1 happened, and everyone and their mother bought a subscription to get access to Wave 1. They are doing the scale test right now. The amount of people on servers is very close to, if not cap, at pretty much the whole day. Remember, I play on, and Mike does as well, like on
Peak
non-peak
times.
times.
Yeah.
Servers have been pretty full for the most part, and if they haven't been, they then fill up pretty quickly. So I'm just gonna straight up disagree with you. I don't think it's been particularly slow in Wave 1. I think we'll probably be in, and I'm gonna do air quotes Wave 1 because it's probably more realistically like a Wave 3 with the amount of people that are in it.
Yeah.
For probably another week or two before we see it go through.
Yeah, and the other thing that I want to point out that was really, really interesting about this, that is very uncommon, I can't think of a time this has ever happened, is they went from Evo, they went to Wave 1, and then they closed it for 4 days, and something around 4 days, and what that did for me, and what it seemed to do for the concurrency, is that you got the itch. I wanted to go back to Pyro. Right. And then what they did with the patch notes is there was enough new stuff there. Oh, the cows are there, the character change, the FOIP, the this, that. More people wanted to go. And then bang, you got your concurrency right away that night when it happened. I streamed for 6 hours, I think, in the morning on Friday, and I streamed for 6 hours at night on Friday. I don't do that. Right. It's because I was excited. I was excited. I wanted to get in there and test and see it. And that's I think that's a testament to maybe you should take these things down, come back with significant updates, and you'll get your concurrency, you'll get your information every time. You don't need to push it to Wave like open as quickly if you get us scratching wanting it kind of thing. and I
addicted
did,
to it,
so, yeah.
Like I would be just like on your concern, I would be worried if we are in that same spot in 3 weeks' time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Normally they get really fast from Wave 1 to Wave 2 and so on, and I can get coming.
Not as much lately. It
Yeah,
feels like they've been
not
sitting
so
in Wave 1
much.
for a long time lately, but yeah,
It's
in
been
the
like
past,
what, a
I'd
week and a
say,
half?
And not even it's been one patch basically for 2 days if you really think about it, right?
I also have to say I'm just a backer since at the end of 2019, so relatively new,
Same.
I think. And just like 1.5 years ago, I started being really interested in Star Citizen, but not playing it as much because after I found you, Mike, I stopped playing it because I found out it's not a game, it's a tech demo.
Are you blaming this on me?
No. You did me great because I played it so much like no other game. But then I realized, okay, it's not directly a game. It's more like a tech demo, and I'm playing it because I dream of the game it can become.
Yes.
I really enjoy coming back to it from now on, like every big event and so on, but not playing it like MMO, like World of Warcraft. It should be played.
You can't.
Yeah.
Not yet.
So you're not at fault for me not playing the game. But
CIG, I can see the lasers coming through my window.
Yeah.
The best way to get new player acquisition: block Mike's account from playing.
Yeah,
exactly.
The way the way I run into bugs, they might be trying.
Yeah. Two short things, and then I'm gone. There was like a really cool topic like 2 or 3 weeks ago on the podcast. It was something called like Hopium or Soul Crush or something like that, where you would put out a take that was really cool and one that you would get Soul Crush from. What are your takes for 4.0 on that?
Oh, Croncy, you want to go first or you want me to go?
I barely remember yesterday. This was like we would literally say like one thing that we really want from it, and then one thing that would ruin it.
Yeah,
Was that the
exactly.
okay?
Something like that.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, the thing I want from 4.0 is a stable, mostly bugless 4.0 live release that I get to play, you know, all of Christmas break, all of January with minimal issues. The Soul Crush would be 23rd, 24th of December. Hey guys, we're about to go on Christmas break.
Here you
It's
go.
not there. We've got to push
okay.
it back to February. That's the Soul Crush.
Okay. You, Mike?
I can fight instability, maybe not desync. So for me, if the economy stuff is not perfect, no one expects it to be, but if I can see where you want to go with crafting, if I could see where you want to go with blueprints, if I could see where you want to go with your economy, and they don't screw up the contested zones with these garbage guns that don't do anything. They're already got the wrong components in the contested zones. Like if all this stuff better be placeholder. If that stuff, because that's part of the economy for me too, because now we have a player economy when you do this stuff. Because I see a bunch of PvE people complaining in my comments. That should be the contested. This is a real comment, by the way. The contested zones should be PvE only and instance.
PvE only.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Yep. And instance. That was a real comment on one of my YouTube videos from somebody who subscribes to me, which is like, what? So that is like the most silly take of all time. What I want to see is I want to see PvEers or I guess like industry players doing their thing. I want to see PvPers doing their thing, but the PvPers also need money because the economy changes come in, and they are selling the stuff to players that they're getting in the contested zones. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, you want to see it evolve into like a player dynamic economy.
Yep. And then the Soul Crush would be if the rewards are left the way they are now. I think. For me, instability, we've been dealing with it forever. I could still deal with it. I will hate it, but I could deal with it as long as I could see it. I just want to see their vision of what the game is, man. I can watch them build it slowly if they actually build it and they stop talking about it. I want to see them put the Lego pieces together, not just not talk about it. I'm tired of it. So
yeah. I get that. Okay, really last thing now. What like if you could design a ship from any manufacturer with any work to do. Like for me, it would be a Crusader mining ship, a large one, like a Rastra, but from Crusader. But what would it be for you guys?
I have a real specific want.
Me too.
Which it's not from a specific manufacturer.
Oh, mine is.
But I want them to release a carrier ship that is all parasitic snubcraft. So think of the way that it never works, but the way that the Merlin attaches to the Connie. But there's 8 of them, and they all parasitically attach to a carrier. That is my like big please CRG, give this to me. It'll be so much fun.
Like Misk Starfarer, but it has the Mirai
like all like Furies attached to them instead of the tanks. That'd be so
or like
cool.
The Star Wars ships that drop the robots, like that kind of thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That'd be badass. For me, it's super simple. It is an Argo salvage ship. Done.
Oh yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, Argo salvage ship, easy peasy, no problem. Medium salvage, Argo salvage ship.
Okay. Okay. Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate
Cheers
it.
for the call.
Great call, man. It was super fun.
Yep.
Catch you, mate.
That was fun. That was a good call. I enjoyed that. Oh, I keep making you disappear, Croncy. Sorry. Space.
So I'm going to put the call out very quickly. We have one caller currently in the room.
Yes.
Left. So if you guys want your calls to come in,
there's
do it
actually
right now.
room today.
There is room. We got some room because everyone's busy buying their ships.
Yep.
So yeah, get in there now.
But it's not the end of the world if we end a little bit early as well, and then we can make our way to the convention centers a bit earlier, and everyone can get ready for that too. So our last caller is a regular. Well, maybe he's not our last. I see somebody. Our current last is Space Monkey Business. Very regular. How you doing today? Not first time caller. He's a liar. And his name is so long, I have to change on the line to OTL to get his name in.
I mean, how long I'm calling in and you're still not prepared for that?
The reason I'm still not prepared is they're like building a stream over however many years and then having to rebuild it. There's like literally 10,000 pieces to put back together. It like talk about Legos that we were talking about in the last call. It's just that plus juggling week in review and getting all the footage every week. It's been a pain.
What do you mean with rebuilding? What do you have to rebuild? Or what did you do?
I lost my entire stream PC. Yeah.
Right before
yeah,
sitcom
I heard
too.
that. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you
just
got
to
it
give
back.
an example to people, in the previous iteration of this scene, I had 3 versions of the caller. And while you came in, I would put Artesius, who's the next one, in the second one, and then I would close you and open the next one. I don't have that set up yet, right? That's something I need to like get to. It takes 5 minutes, but it's like 100 things that take 5 minutes, 500 minutes.
I can see that.
So. Yeah.
Oh boy!
What do you want to talk about?
I will basically continue with questions because it's like question time for you.
Question the call.
Yeah, because I saw the green was empty. Okay, now it's filling up. So I thought maybe I can hop in and fill the gaps. What kind of ship shape would you like to see in the game that it's not in at the moment?
Rectangle, ironclad.
Rectangle.
Ironclad. The Iron Chad.
I am still really disappointed they got rid of that Argo concept that was like a UFO.
Yeah.
They showed it like once or twice. That would have been really cool. But especially after today, where Mike said maybe the ship was just a Pokeball, just a sphere. Just let me fly around
Flying
the sphere.
sphere.
That'd be super cool. Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what a Fury is.
Sphere. Do you remember the ad somebody put together about the what's it called? Drake. This Star Destroyer, Star.
Yeah,
Star
it was like
Wars.
the Drake Death Star.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I really liked that. I like the ships from the ships that are long and even high. So like Pillar of Autumn or the ships from what's called Homeworld. They're pretty big. I think the issue is you can't probably land them properly on this planet if they are like long and high. So, but
you don't need them to. The Javelin's not supposed to land in planet.
Yeah, but then you have
the Retribution is certainly not supposed to be landing anywhere. So,
but then they have another capital ship, and probably they should not sell them for a while.
No.
What kind of paint would you like to see in the game? What colors, what stuff on it that you really like, but is either not in or underrepresented at the moment?
Croncy, you want to go first? I have one.
More bright colors. Just straight up more bright colors.
And
I'm so sick of watching camo.
I'm the opposite. Actual black. Like Croncy's t-shirt.
Okay.
It just, everything disappears into it. Right? Because I bought a black skin for my freelancer. I bought a black skin for my Starfarer, and they're not black.
Yeah, you want like a matte black. Like pretty much all of the paints in the game are glossy for the most part.
Or like metal, or like they're like they end up being gray because the under is coming through it. No. I want you guys remember the Mark 1 Ghost? I want all my ships to look like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is it like just pure black or with some I don't know
color.
other little no color, just black. Okay.
Maybe a hint of like this blue, but very little.
Yeah, it'd be cool. A small accent somewhere.
Yeah. Or the exact opposite, which would be the holiday one, the icebreaker or whatever it was. Not icebreaker, I don't know what it's called. But whatever the holiday one that was free that is white and this color blue.
Yeah.
That on everything as well. So like I'll take either one. But I also Croncy's the bright colors, I know people love that stuff, so rock and roll as well. Not my cup of tea, but
yeah. I also go with Croncy. One skin I really like is the yellow-orange skin from the Mercury Star Runner. I really love that. It's like, I don't know why. I'm normally not in those two colors, but somehow the mixture is pretty good. And
is that the one that came from the planets or whatever? Remember that?
Can't remember. Can't remember
that.
There was like a Hurston one and like an Orison one.
Not sure, but it's another very bright skin, right?
Yeah, it's a very bright
skin. So that's why I also like that one. It's good.
Yeah. And I think it came out right away with the MSR, if I remember correctly.
I believe you're right, yeah.
Yeah. And I really like the pyro skins for the Vulture and the Corsair with the graffiti spray on it.
They're cool.
Those are probably the most unique, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like they're actually like proper intricate designs. More of that would be cool. And also would not be surprising because they're doing a lot of, I don't know if it's the branding team, but they're continuing to do a lot more graffiti art and like aesthetics for pyro and for the like tattoos that we can put on our characters and stuff now. So they may continue doing that, and hopefully they do.
Yeah. Like I'll give you an example. I don't use that pyro one. I use I think it's called Pyrite for the Vulture. It's literally one of the only ones that are like black, but it's got this like little hint of yellow that I hate and I would want to get rid of.
Right.
And just extend the base color all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think really like Croncy's t-shirt, the white red or red black is
black
is also
and white and red go very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is there any profession that is actually not in the game yet you would like to see come into the game, and what ship would you like to have it for?
Hello, crafting.
Yeah. I was like gonna say crafting in the Pioneer.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, let me rephrase it. Is there any profession we have not have hints about that you probably would like to see?
They've kind of covered, like with crafting, they've sort of covered the breadth of like professions I can think of. A lot of them are not in depth yet, or even the concepts haven't been maybe in as depth as I want, but I don't know if there's anything different, right? Data running is a good point. Passenger transport also a good point, but I personally think that both of those are boring as hell. So
hacking, dude.
Hacking, but that's
that's
the thing that we know is sort of somewhere.
There's nothing we don't have hints, because you know what? Chris Roberts sat there and 10 for the chairman with his piece of paper reading questions and hinted at literally everything for 10 years in a row. So it's kind of hard to say that there isn't one without hints.
Yeah.
I think they covered it pretty well at this point, but I'm still curious about what they're going to do with the the Tana. One of the ships is like a journalism stuff.
Yeah.
Like what are you doing with that? I mean, if you
that was peak 2015. They were gonna do everything.
One cool idea would be if you allow players to create like I don't know, not a newspaper, like maybe the future would be too far away for a newspaper, but if you can record videos and maybe just put little clips inside a database of the game, and then you can stream those stuff from your ship monitors. That would be funny.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have an actual answer that would be a good impact on gameplay, which is using it for like scouting and stuff, and being able to send all of that data to someone else in a different system. In your alliance, in your guild, whatever, right?
You know what? That makes me think of something. Like the ships are in the game, but there has never been a hint at the gameplay whatsoever, and that would be the Hornet of, I don't remember the name. Is it TAC? The one that the radar ships.
Tracker,
yeah. any of the radar ships, we have no indication of how that'll play whatsoever.
Yeah.
Other than that, the radar might be better than ours. What if there is some sort of a unique mechanic? What if that is that scouting kind of gameplay that you're talking about, Croncy? That's interesting to me.
Is it not the pathfinding category of ships? Pathfinder?
Yeah,
Scouting?
yeah. So like
but
the Terrapin, the Tracker, whatever else, but like it means
fuck does that
nothing at the
mean?
moment.
Yeah.
All we know is that it has something to do with scanning, but not necessarily exploration. like it's sort of a little bit disconnected from that in a way.
They've sold the ships plenty of times, but have never sat down and talked about the design at all. At all.
Yeah. But they actually talked a bit more about scanning and radar stuff, at least
in the
not
monthly
this
reports,
CitizenCon, but also on the CitizenCon before the last one.
Yeah, the probing.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I think that's it from me today, so the others can use the space a bit more.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people now.
Yeah, I was gonna say we appreciate you calling in because now we have 5 people in the waiting room.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
So
I need to go.
we appreciate it, Monkey, as always, and we can't wait to hear your next call.
And for the people, no problem. See you later. For the people that are waiting, we'll get to as many of you as we can. Okay, but we have 30 minutes left, and we'll probably cut it off maybe 10 minutes before the end, so it's more like 20 minutes. So we're gonna try to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in there in 20 minutes. All right,
let's do it.
Let's go. Welcome, Artesius.
You can't talk for 20 minutes.
Yep, sorry.
Hello, how are you guys today?
Good.
I'm calling in for me.
What?
First time caller. I always watch your show.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, first time.
Yeah.
All these pretend first timers today.
Oh, you can't prove anything, Mike. There's no digital records. So I guess the thing I want to talk about with IAE is how much of an impact do you think the Polaris will have on the game? Do you think it's just going to be once the week of oh my god shiny wears off, that's it? Or do you think it's going to start making changes to the way CIG approaches gameplay or like the way players use ships? That kind of stuff.
It's really buggy still.
Yeah, but to quote the devs, during the IAE show, we do not have missions designed for large ships. So that's your answer, really. Like the Polaris is probably not a ship that's going to come out a lot during like multiple group PvP. People are still probably going to be in fighters. I imagine people will be trying to solo torp it for the next like year, so you'll have a lot of that sort of stuff happening. But until we get more missions like the phase 3 of Slices, I don't think you'll see it coming up particularly often. People will enjoy it. People will live on it, I guess, will be a thing, especially in Pyro. People will probably use it as a base, which is pretty reasonable, I think. But other than that, yeah, until we see missions, I don't think it'll have a huge value change.
I just look at it like this. It's still pretty broken. I don't see them like my torpedoes weren't hitting that often. They were hitting my ship, and PDCs aren't very good, and blah blah blah. So like I don't see the ship coming in as the overpowered, dominant ship that we had seen before. Is it overpoweringly cool, rule of cool wise? Yes, in a lot of ways. So. But so like I think the excitement is going to fade very quickly on this one. It's just the vibe that I get. So yeah.
So as far as finally got phase 3 done today, so I was actually working today, so it seems to be working on the live servers now, which is good. We couldn't really get enough people to punch the shields of the Idris on my servers, but we found out if you ram a Polaris into the Idris, it will knock out its shields.
Just get a mole, man. Mole and Prospector for the win. Just roll up to that thing, and then that's it.
That's it. Yeah. So we just had a guy in a Polaris. Just every time the shield started coming back up, he just rammed the Idris over and over again to keep knocking the shields down. So everyone in smaller ships could take it out.
Classic.
Yeah, because it was just the one guy by himself in a Polaris, so that's kind of
Yeah.
what you can expect to happen for that gameplay, I guess.
Yep.
And then as far as 4.0, if we do see a big player base increase, so I think
We will. It'll
people
be
are going to
318
start
levels of excitement for this.
Yeah, for sure. As far as like server cap size, I do expect people to go look at Pyro, and it's going to be exciting for the first couple of weeks or months, and then people are going to start moving back into their usual gameplay loops if they do end up sticking around if the game is working. Then they're going to start transitioning back to Stanton for what they're used to, what they're comfortable with. None of the stuff in Stanton is designed for large player numbers. I think we've seen that.
It has started to be fair.
Yeah.
So the distribution centers were the first big introduction of something that, multiple missions, multiple players can be at one time. We now have more outposts. We have the forward operating bases. In terms of like gathering professions, that's not an issue. The system's enormous.
Outside of like the refineries that don't work with the like 1000% or whatever, but
that could be an issue. Maybe refining costs could skyrocket. We'll find out.
Yeah. So for me,
I
it's
think
more
it'll
like
be fine. I think it'll be fine for the most part. But
yeah,
I think it's optimistic to say it'll be a couple of weeks. I think people will jump into Pyro in the first week. They will see how much of a murder fest it's going to be if you're not in a group, and then probably come back to Stanton.
Yeah, that's a fair take. I think Pyro is big enough that they might be able to see a couple of planets before they get murked.
For sure, but I don't see that being particularly long.
Yeah,
I think like, if you're an aggressor too, just to be clear for everybody, if you're an aggressor in Pyro and you end up at the stations will shoot at you. So it's not going to be as much of a murder fest as you think, because those stations do not want. I still don't think they want aggressor activity at them unless it's themselves. So keep that in mind for now.
Yeah. Grimhex will shoot at you in live if you have a crime stat. So that's the thing right now.
Yeah.
But like it's mainly just like landing zones and the stations, like the major stations above planets don't really have, if there's a significant player base operating around them, they don't have the capacity to handle. They're already struggling as it is. That's like a main concern that they need to sort out. And then obviously transit's absolutely in the toilet as usual.
It has to be in 4.0.
Yeah, it's got to come in soon. Just DJ's too busy writing gnome code. Every time Mike gets in an elevator, he's going to get gnomed. That's how that's going to work.
He hasn't been working on Arena Commander at all. He's just been messing with Mike.
Yep.
Yeah. He's just getting all the gnomes ready, lined up in a row.
And sending me random Eve news as well in my DMs.
Yeah, and that's why no work's getting done. But yeah, I think like as far as sales tracker, I think we're down Crusader and Aegis Day compared to last year. I think the last Warbond Idris just sold, I think 10 minutes ago. So I've just been keeping an eye on it. The Javelins still haven't sold out. So if you have $2,700 and you want to go buy a Javelin, they're still for sale. Guys.
Yeah, I'll pass.
It is crazy to me that people buy those on Warbond. That's just like so many of the hobbies that I've played in the past, it's all like, I will get to like $3,000 on a Warhammer army or a Magic deck or whatever, but it's going to be on like $30 increments a month,
Yeah, small purchases. But yeah, the in wave 1, the Javelins and Idris sold out in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
On the Warbond. So there's still a big pump for it, but I was surprised that wave 3 has held this long, that it's almost clocked over to the next day. So that's a big slowdown. I guess people are just not that many whales have already got all their big ships now, so they're gonna have to find something else to get them to spend
new
money
whales.
on. Yeah,
or they're all saving for the Polaris.
Yeah, maybe
all saving for the Polaris. Yeah, well, how much do you guys think that's gonna go up by?
$100 probably.
Yeah, I think it'll still be less than $1,000, but like not by a lot.
Yeah. Do you think it'll become pure standalone, no more CCUs? Like Pioneer?
I have no idea.
Pioneer's a hull limited, so I don't feel like that's a good example.
Yeah, but well, the Polaris
You're speaking another language to me. I don't know any of these terms.
I will mention very quickly, I was surprised the Pioneer is still hull limited. I had thought after SitCon that they were going to probably scrap that idea, but no, it's still hull limited.
What does
so
that mean?
Only X amount of that ship can be sold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
I was like,
I do
with
not
the
play the
reconcept
game on the
thing,
website.
surely they'll let
I
it
had no
happen.
idea
But,
what the hell you guys were talking about.
Yeah. So the point of how limited is that for a certain percentage of the player base, there's only a certain percent. So if there's like, for every 100 players, there's one Pioneer. For every 1,000 players, there's one Idris. For every 10,000 players, there's one Javelin. That's like how
or whatever
it's
number
meant,
yeah.
whatever number, but as an
Yeah.
example, that's like
Yeah.
how hull limited is meant to work. So they're meant to be air quote rare when people own 5 of them on one account.
Gotcha.
All right. We're going to try to get to some of these other callers, Artesius. Oh, easy. Cool. You're reading my mind somehow. Thank you very much for the call. We appreciate
Australia time.
Yeah, we'll see
Enjoy
you
enjoy your presents from me, Mike. I can't wait for the PO box opening.
Yeah, they're over there. They're right next to me.
He showed me what he sent you. I need to watch this PO box.
Okay. They might be memes I don't know or something like that, so we'll see.
100% that is exactly the case. All right.
Oh,
Cheers,
really?
Artesius.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Catch you, mate.
All right. So that was Artesius, and then we're gonna bring in I tried to say it last week, I think.
Rakados.
Yes. Welcome.
How you doing, Rakados?
Yes. And then we're gonna bring in I could hear myself.
You're listening from the stream.
Mute us.
Yeah, you're muted now.
All right.
Okay. Cool. Just wanted to react to Croncy's reaction to a previous caller.
Whoa, he's a reactor.
So you mentioned one of the things you'd want is a snub ship. Just wanted to share
a snub carrier specifically.
Similar idea I have had in the past. Somewhat more embellished than your idea. So the Zion ships. I didn't quite catch that, Croncy.
Are you listening to us through Discord, or are you listening to us through?
Okay, I had the stream up, so maybe I just saw you mouthing a delay. Never mind. Okay, so the Zion ships all have that similar like ball cockpit in the front. Imagine a bespoke Xeon docking port for Xeon ships. And then imagine a Zion Idris with like 4 docking ports.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I don't like Xi'an ships, so this isn't doing it for me.
Wow.
I mean, it's something you might run into out in that near the Xeon border.
Actually, yeah, I will say I don't like the so Ayapoa are the military genre manufacturer. I don't love their design language, but I do love
they're the fighter manufacturer, and the Xeon use a different manufacturer for their capital ships. So it would be the same as the Gatek and the Rayleigh.
Sure.
Let's see. That went faster than I thought it would.
What about this? Yeah, that'd be cool.
I don't like I just don't even think about that stuff, so I have nothing that I could add. I'm sorry. I normally could talk.
Just the idea of a snub carrier that only works for the Xeon fighters.
Yeah. No, that'd be dope as hell.
I mean, you would think it has to exist somewhere, right?
Yeah. It's also like all of the carriers in game, and as far as I'm aware in the lore so far, with the exception of maybe the Vandal, the big one, whatever it's called, the Kingship, they're all like hangar based, right? It's all, here is your ship, it's in the hangar, we're going to repair it, whatnot. I really love the idea of just, parasitic ships. I think they're a really cool idea that doesn't get used enough in this game. And to be fair, that's probably because they break every second patch.
Yeah, or like trying to leave the hangar of your Carrack or Polaris or whatever.
Yeah.
You gotta stay still, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't have to stay still,
you've got a Battlestar Galactica style launch sequence where you just kicked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to have some of that be better, and then I think it would get maybe used more. But yeah, every ship that we have that has it isn't big enough. Like even the Polaris is big enough, but not big enough to like have the like you know, like a bunch of ships coming out and have that feeling. That's the Idris, I think, and we don't have that yet. So yeah.
I think the closest I've seen is when somebody put like a fuck ton of Furies on top of a 890.
Yeah, I think like Avenger did that or something recently, or not recently, but when they first happened. But yeah, it's just, but those are Furies. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else since we kind of spoiled your call quickly, and then we can get to more people if that's all you had?
We can get to more people. I won't hug the call.
All right. And yeah, there's always next week, right? There's always a new topic.
Yeah.
There's always next week. We have no lives, so we'll be here next week. Maybe you have a life and maybe you won't. I think he just left. He did.
Yeah, he's got a life to go to.
He's got a life. This guy's got a life, so he's out of here. All right.
Cheers, okay.
See you later. Thanks for the call, man. And then amateur ASU or ASU. Amateur ASU. Amaterasu. Well, yeah, there you go. I'm not saying anyone's names anymore. It's all you, Croncy, from now on.
Hello.
Howdy. How you doing?
I'm Carla.
How you doing, Carla?
So, I have a few things I want to go through, and my name is pronounced Amaterasu.
Yeah.
It's like
Croncy got it.
Yeah.
I put too much emphasis on the U, but
if you're a Naruto fan or something like that, you would know. But yeah, fuck it.
So we're gonna have to ban this guy.
No
weebs in this chat.
Weebs out.
Weebs and nerds, we are one big family. Come on.
Get them out of here.
What would you like to talk about?
So I have a few things I want to go through, so I'm not gonna dive too deep into each one. One of the things is 4.0 server FPS.
Yep.
What do you guys think that we will actually get an improved performance in
I had 30.
Yeah.
Constant
I had 30.
or just fresh
servers? I looked,
then
I didn't keep it up because people obsess over it, and I don't think it's worth obsessing over in a wave 1. You know, maybe wave 3 or like when it gets closer to the end, then we're like, all right, this is probably the experience you're going to be having. So I leave it up more often then. Yeah, my server had 30 FPS. So
okay, because I watched Berks a little bit, and he had it like open throughout the whole time, most of the time. And I've been like I don't watch the whole stream, but I just skipped through it and just looked at the server FPS, how it's like holding up in it. And at some points it like dropped down again to like 3 or 4 again.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
one time it was at 4, most of the time it was at 30 when I looked, but I didn't look that often.
Yeah.
So to be fair, I don't know how much data I have for you.
Okay. But do you guys actually think that we're gonna have an improved performance, or is it more like?
I mean,
it depends.
I think CRG want to improve the performance. I think that's kind of the only answer, right? Like,
but then you get off the train and there's 100 NPCs at the station.
Yeah. I don't think the performance on live will be particularly great server FPS wise for like at least 4.0, you know what I mean? Like if we see major improvements, it'll be 4.1, 4.2.
Yeah, that's
March,
what I think.
May, wherever. But I think it'll be, well, once again, it's more of a hope, but I think it'll be in an okayish state. The way that they've done a lot of the introductions of features and whatnot recently is like everything kind of works at like 10 server FPS with like some issues. When it does get down to the low single digits, things start going crazy. But,
yeah. It's like as long as it's like 10 or something, it somewhat works. But at the moment they go 6, 5, 4, then the whole game is.
But guys,
unplayable.
This is the server meshing stuff. Like it can't be somewhat works anymore. Like it's got to work better.
Yeah.
It's got to show those improvements in 4.0. They have to be able to show that stuff.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping to. Because if 4.0 comes out and we're still dealing with the same server frames and
And what are we
problems and
doing?
delays and stuff, then
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, like what's okay? Now we are in 4 servers that don't work.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, I realistically, it probably will not be a good experience, but with time, they keep improving the servers, they keep improving
Yes.
the different systems, and rip out the old stuff and put new stuff in, and then it's like step with step, it becomes better and better and better. Like we saw with replication layer and stuff.
And even just the things that Ali Brown's been talking about a lot of is doing just general optimization. The whatever optimizations they did in this last 4.0 patch had a huge improvement to my client frame rate. So there's that too, right? But yeah, the server frame rate's obviously way more important.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, next thing. What do you guys think will be the next major update or content we're gonna get after 4.0 and engineering? Like they said, base building will be like at the end of the year if we get to it.
I see what you mean. Okay, yeah.
But what's in between? Like, what are we gonna get in?
Engineering, crafting, probably.
Crafting? You think that?
So yeah, 4.1 will be engineering, right?
Yeah.
Presumably. I feel like crafting is still a ways off that, so I don't know what else would come in 4.1. Probably missions. Actually, it's probably missions. There's a lot of missions that have been getting worked on over the course of last year. There's now an entire new system for you to do extra unique things with. I don't know. I really don't know. Normally, with 4.0 on the horizon, we would now know some of the things that are going in 4.1. Like, it's about now that they start telling us those things.
Yeah, it's
so,
like
yeah.
After engineering comes in 4.0, it's like it's not gonna be base building. That's still a little bit off.
Yeah, no.
Maybe small crafting stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is they showed us a bunch of levels, but they can start with just one.
Yeah.
Plus,
like
they did mention,
maybe.
They mentioned that like there would be crafting machines in like public areas too, so you could start with that.
Yeah, it's like this small, and there's like different tiers, like not tiers, sizes.
Yeah.
Of crafting things. Maybe we get the small thing, but just that, like just crafting the whole year from the small to thing. Like, don't you guys think? Maybe we get what is it called?
Hacking and bounty hunting, probably.
Master modes updates. Probably.
Oh yeah, for sure, master modes updates.
Yeah, but those aren't like master modes is a major feature. Master modes updates is not a major feature, you know.
It will be because it's so needed, but what Croncy is saying is the introduction of master modes was the major feature. It's now just making it not shit is the idea, and it not being bad is going to be a really good change. But
but the amount of things that have to change would make it. It's like
we're in agreement.
Master modes.
Yeah, there's no argument. We're in agreement, but I think what we assumed by what you said is new shit.
Yeah.
New stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And
new shit maybe what is it called when you have like aerodynamic flight? Control surfaces.
Yeah, maybe.
I
hope not.
Maybe.
I hope not.
You don't like it?
No, it's not that I don't like it. It's just with the way master modes went. I don't want them to do any more things that are just going to make things bad.
We'll probably see FPS radar, and I imagine the armor archetypes probably come in soon-ish, like 4.1, 4.2. So,
Maelstrom could be an interesting one. Yeah, let's see. Okay, another thing, a fast one. How much time do I have? Do I still have time for?
Yeah, make this a quick one. We'll try to get to at least one more caller.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just give them a few minutes.
Yeah.
Do you guys think 4.0 will change Star Citizen's popularity to the mainstream?
No.
If the patch works, I think yes.
Yeah, and I don't think the patch is going to work. Therefore, I think no. I don't want to be that guy. I'm always that guy. But how can I not be? In this case,
if
like, just look at the state of it. It's a month away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big deal as well as for like returning veterans. So like that's why if it works, it'll be huge.
Yes, a lot of old players that have been like holding off of Star Citizen and just watching from the sidelines will be back in 4.0. So from that standpoint, a lot of new new players.
A lot higher concurrency, player concurrency.
Yeah. Even like Summit is gonna come back and stuff. So
yeah,
you hope.
He said so. He said 4.0 will be back. So
Streamers say things all the time.
I will say my one like connection claim to fame, Muselk, said that he'll come back for 4.0 as well.
Nice.
So
yeah, let's see.
Good luck.
All right, I won't take any more time.
All right,
other ones have a little bit.
Cheers. Thanks very much for the call.
Bye now.
Yes, it was fine. Bye.
All right, and then we'll get Tango in for a couple minutes.
Yep.
All right,
Tango, how you doing?
Good. Mike, I have a question for you. As an old indie guy from Eve,
all right,
the crafting and base building, what are your thoughts on the redesign of the Pioneer and the now useless claw on the Reclaimer?
The useless claw on the Reclaimer's gotta be the salvage mechanic essentially from Eve, I think, where yes, instead of construction materials, you know how like you get like the random stuff from Eve salvaging?
Yeah, the random drops.
I think that'd be fine. That makes that a lot better. And then the change of the Pioneer is pretty wild to me. I don't know how it applies to Eve for you, but for me it's more of a Star Citizen change of like I have my this is just like a mobile industry thing. Like
it's a mobile factory. It's a mobile crafting like terminal.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've been a backer since like Kickstart days, and I've had a Pioneer, and the old land deed sales, but I just the whole redesign and their entire change to the crafting. It's like when they put the indie core in the Orca in Eve. It's just things are changing, and they're not. It's like their original view has taken a sharp left.
Can you take a 30-second talk in what the Rorqual was before the industry stuff was in it? Because I've only started playing Eve recently, and that is my favorite part of the game is like somebody's got a Rorqual, we're all mining together. I can compress because he's there. I could change my stuff because he's there. And yeah, he could do the panic button thing, and there's a bunch of cool things with it. So what was it, and why is it bad now?
Not the Rorqual, the Orca. The medium size.
The Orca, okay.
Yeah, it used to be you can deploy mining drones and sit, and it was one of the best miners you could get, and then they put the core in it and dropped the capabilities of the mining, and it's just a booster now is all it's used for.
Gotcha.
And it's just
well, that's not the Pioneer.
Yeah, what you're describing is like a balance change that did alter the role of the ship, right? But the Pioneer didn't exist. Crafting didn't exist. We had no concept at all how it would work in this game, with the exception of they said that the Pioneer would like create the base and then like sit it down, like open up and like reveal it and sit it down or whatever.
Right,
That's the only thing that really got real concept.
They said that the BLD is supposed to have the large construction drones.
I see what you're getting at now.
Right.
This isn't about the Pioneer. This is about the BLD and the Galaxy. The bullshit with that.
Right, because it's pretty much putting the Pioneer on the back burner. The only reason you would need a Pioneer now is for the starbase or the station.
Yeah.
Everything else can be done with the BLD now.
Correct. And it's because they don't think that they'll be able to get the Pioneer done in time, I think. It's the BLD is already made. You just need to put the thing in there. And then when we do deliver base building, you could do everything but the space stations. Done. And then the Pioneer does everything that the BLD does, but you could do a lot more of them at the same time. And then then you have the space station. So I think that's the idea behind it, is just reality of time.
But it's also not accurate. The BLD can't make stuff within it. It's only for base building, right? the Pioneer has literal crafting machines inside of it now, so you can make a ship, like a small ship. You can make guns, whatever.
Yeah,
so it
very
is
fair.
now a portable, like it is a portable factory. Which,
I'm just
yes,
talking
once
about
again,
from
it
the
is still
base building
different
perspective, but yeah, those are very good
for sure.
points.
But it has all these extra capabilities.
Absolutely,
now, right?
yeah.
And that does mean, once again, that its role has sort of changed. I am certainly in favor of it. I was a Pioneer owner before it. I am even more ecstatic now with
Same.
how they have the view for it for crafting.
Yeah, I don't feel snubbed. Do you feel snubbed?
No, not snubbed, but it's like they're bringing all these other building ships in, and it's like, well, the big draw to the Pioneer, on top of the land claim deeds when it first came out, was the base building, and now everything else is base building, and it's like,
well,
why have a Pioneer anymore?
Well, you're not gonna like what I have to say, but you know, because I did it too. I bought the thing. Like, we bought it. It was the best thing at the time when we bought it, and now, you know, oh well, that was on us.
Yeah,
it's alpha. It's alpha.
I don't want base building to be stuck behind a $700 ship. You know, that's my biggest thing. I want there to be much smaller and much easier ways for people to get into that aspect. Yeah. So the fact that, you know, they have the trolley thing, whatever it was called, that's going to be able to start your base building, and the fact that you'll then be able to use the trucks and stuff, I think is awesome. As long as, and this is important, Tango, as long as when they do start to introduce larger buildings, larger factory items, that the progression still exists there for you to want to get those larger ships.
It feels to me like the Pioneer is turning into the Endeavor. Like, it's going to be sitting there on a back burner until Star Citizen 1.5.
They're going to start it this year, they're saying.
Yeah, it is in the 12-month silhouette of ships they will be working on.
Whatever
not
that
releasing.
means. But,
I'm gonna keep saying that for the next year. So at the very least, it's not on the back burner yet. It's still very much directly in their eyes. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens this time next year if it goes the same way as the hacking ship that got removed from the completely removed from the silhouette.
Yeah, but Tango, it's time. We gotta go.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Thank Croncy. By the way, you gotta follow on Twitch, Croncy.
There you
Thank
go.
You. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. That's Tango. We'll let you go. I'm gonna knock you out into the caller dump. Thank you so much for your call, and I hope you don't feel snubbed, but I get it.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Thank you very much.
That is the show.
Yep.
For us, I'm at the IAE convention. I'm in the hallway right now. I have the full what is it called, biohazard suit on to keep all the copium out. That's been my thought process with wearing the biohazard suit. I'm keeping the copium out. And then, so what we're going to do now for everybody who's watching live, for those of you guys on YouTube, this isn't very relevant right now, but you should check us out on Twitch if you guys haven't yet, is myself and Croncy are going to go our separate ways onto our channels for a little bit. I'm going to check out like episode 2 of the IAE show. I think Croncy is as well. I'm going to check out the convention center. We're going to check out the Guardian, all that stuff. And then, yeah, we'll be here to talk with you guys about it next week as well, right? So we'll hear your thoughts on those things. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching today. We really appreciate it. Hit the follow button for us once again. If you are watching on YouTube, subscribe if you guys haven't yet, because yeah, it's a pretty new channel. We used to do it on my channel. Now we have our own. So make sure, if you guys are catching this video, that you are subscribed to the Answer the Call SC channel.
And a big shout out to Brent Wolf for gifting 10 Answer the Call memberships today. We appreciate that a ton, mate. Thanks so much.
Brent, thank you, man. Yeah, appreciate it. And yeah, I think that's where we leave it. And we say, don't forget
to buy a polite answer the call.
Answer the call. We're not answering the call.